Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, the Supercoach Pro. Today's video, we're doing a round 12 AFL Supercoach preview for my side. We lost a little bit of ranking, as you guys know, just outside the top 5k now. Got 15 trades to burn through. Initially, after the preview, I wasn't actually going to trade out any players, but then we got the mid-season draft. So it's kind of made it a little bit easier for me to upgrade my side a week early. I'm not going to use the 3 trades, may just use the 2. I kind of don't recommend bringing in, Machida Owens or players like Weir in the back line for the Giants there until next week, in case by some chance, they get a COVID protocol or they just miss for whatever reason with Whitfield coming back. So I wouldn't be going early on any of those players. Mid-season rookie draft, maybe, you could do that. I'm looking at one player because I'm actually going to use him as a bit of a loophole and it doesn't really affect my buys, which is the other thing you to consider. No point really swapping like a Heaney to a Bontempelli. I know they're on the same buy, but I think you can sort of fatten up your cash cows and, use a couple boosts to get those players and, hold them as your sort of F7 for the year, or, they've got DPP, so they could be really handy later in the rounds when you actually don't have any trades left. So get stuck into the side. Maybe just some thoughts on players that people are bringing in and out. Vice captain and captain I'll go through real quick too. In case you didn't know, I'll just show you guys something. If you undo your changes, and this week Optimize is probably the only time you'd ever really use it during the buys, is because what it does, as you can see here, you've got the blue dotted players on the field. Instead of manually swapping each player out, all you do is optimize. It gets rid of all your buy players to the bench. I've probably got one player that's not playing, so 2 players if you include Bruce as well. So I don't need to trade. I'll actually have 20 playing this week, meaning the lowest 2 scores will not be counted because only best of 18. So don't go stuffing your team just for the buys, because people do, and I did it last year a little bit. I traded Zorko and stuff like that, and they still went on the heater later on in the year at some point. So if anything, you just want warm bodies, so maybe just rookies. If you've got dead rookies, I'd be just culling them to rookies that are playing instead of just side swapping a primo who's going to score about the same anyway. So what we're going to do, the mid-season draft came out, so I've got a little bit of a plan for Bruce. Now, I don't want to really rely on Bruce getting a game every week with McVeigh being the coach. He did pretty poorly in the VFL, which I did look at the stats too. He had like 11 hit-outs, so something pretty bad anyway. So, Flynn didn't do that great either, but I just want to move early. I always wanted to go sort of Darcy and Gawn, and there's only about 100k between Bruce and Gawn now, and maybe getting Gawn 2 weeks earlier than what I wanted to is the move. So what I'm thinking, I'll probably leave VC on Neil potentially and captain Sis because he's pretty reliable. I thought about maybe Took Miller could be a sneaky one, but his inconsistencies, I know he plays North Melbourne, but he's so inconsistent this year, I'm not sure I would really want to take a punt. So what I kind of am thinking this week, and tell me what you guys think of this sort of trade. It's a little bit left field considering these mid-season players, are recruited for a reason, either long-term or short-term fix, and I think this is where we're going to go. So if you compare a Wits type with Gawn, that they've scored very similar for the year, although Gawn's had a few bad games purely just to injury. But if you ask me from here on out, who would score more, I actually think Gawn from here on out. If we just look at it here, the next few weeks for Wits, he's got Goldstein, then he's got O'Brien, he's got Hayes. So that will be an easy kill potentially for him. Grundy might be back here. Then he's got Nank, Draper, who's crap, so he probably dominates that game. But, the next couple of weeks, he's actually got a bit of a challenge in the ruck department anyway. Looking at Gawn, I think he's up against Laddams, this weekend. And then after that, he has Darcy Cameron, McInerney. He also has O'Brien there, Stanley, Hayes. I just like his scoring output a bit better, especially when he's fully fit. Before his injury, he was still averaging 126 post injury, and I think he can match it with Witts from here on out. Surely Witts' ACL recovery, maybe the back end of the season, he starts to gas out a little bit. Is the thought behind it? And look, there's about 60k difference between them, and I just think that Witts won't be scoring more than Gawn from here on out. Average 119 to 113, 6 points difference. Not a lot, but these are injury-affected games from that knock against his knee against St Kilda. Then he had played a bit forward against West Coast, I'm pretty sure it was. So, bit of a long explanation why I'm picking Gawn. Most competition actually have him, and I think Witts is actually going head-to-head with Darcy, if anything, by looking at it like that, is what I'm going with. So, to bring Gawn in, you're probably thinking, well, how are you going to bring him in? Well, I'm not going to cut McCartan or DeConning this week because they play this weekend, obviously. And Dacos will be handy for the round 13 bye because I'm two short players that I need to bring in next week to actually get a field of 18. Because I'm not relying on Carroll or Hamilton to actually come back in the side. I think Carroll doesn't play next week. He played pretty poorly if you watch that game, and Hamilton is not really liked by McVeigh, and I don't think he played in the VFL from what I could see stats-wise. So I want to use the loophole to great effect. So we actually brought in Darcy Cameron as a sneaky insurance policy for Sean Darcy. I was just trying to figure out how we loop it. Now, being gifted here, my side's been gifted in particular by the mid-season draft, and I think this guy gets a game anyway. So he'll just be bench cover, and if not, he'll be a handy loop because Port Adelaide do play some late games. To make it easy for myself, I'll just go DPP only. Now, there's only 12 players there, and 102. So he's the cheapest out of the lot, apart from this guy, Carlton, but I don't want anything to do with him because I think Teakle might get some games alongside Hayes, potentially, because Lycett's still got a little bit of time to recover from that shoulder injury. And he's just a handy loop. So I bank 100k for the week after, which is also handy. I am down to 13 trades, but I don't really got a lot of upgrades to make. I think I need a D6, maybe a Sinclair, a Doherty next week. Probably need to fix up the Tom Green situation. But, I'm pretty happy with Dunkley, Parker, Cameron, Butters, Heaney, Canelio. I've got DeGoey I can swing forward there too, so maybe I just get a couple of midfielders to finish off Cripps. And I could, have some depth players, but my only really where I'm lacking a lot of rookie points is actually D6. That's what I'm trying to get at. But, let's hypothetically say Darcy doesn't play 1 week. All I have to do is swing Cameron there. Yep, he's not there, but I can still field a decent side going forward. I could chuck DeGoey for Hamilton. DeGoey plays forward. Cripps goes here. Green on field. And sort of got an option between McComb and Greg Clark. I can use a loophole with the Hamilton there as well for M8 if I need to for a few weeks there. But I think I'll have a fully upgraded side. I'll probably use another 3 trades next week, so that'll leave me with 10. And then 3 for round 14, leaving me with 7 remaining trades with hopefully a fully upgraded side. Is the plan there. I'll just optimise my actual trades so I don't not field Darcy or something stupid. As it is, it hasn't even put Gawn back on, which is pretty stupid. So I don't always trust in the optimize. You do have to manually do things if you do it this way. But yeah, so going Gawn early gives me an extra premium on field, and if you're counting premiums, that's probably where you're really counting it. So I've really got 1, 2, 3 premiums playing 4, 5, 6, 7. Will Brodie's the premium at the moment, 8. 9, 10. 11, 12. Let's call these guys a premium. 13, 14, 15. So these last three probably aren't premiums, but they're not rookie scores. So 15 out of 22. So I'm only fielding 7 rookies there. That's not a bad side. Going into it, my last 3 scores will be chopped anyway. So probably Roses this week, McComb and DeConning is my guess. Vice captain, you probably want to go for ceiling this week. So maybe I do look at a VC on Miller. And then go for a safe bet, maybe a sure thing like Sistog. He plays the Pies this week. Neil might cop a tag, and I think he's delayed a game anyway, the last game of the round. So we've got plenty of loopholes to use this week. So they act as the last game. So you can use anyone. It doesn't matter who you have. I doubt you've got every player that's on your bench playing as well. That'd just be weird. And if you do, you probably made a bot side for the weekly price, to be honest. So yeah, that's what we're doing for round. A bit of a longer video into explaining, going over wits, but sometimes people want that analyzing sort of thing, and yeah, I just banking on wits to fail from here on out because I don't plan on bringing him in. And the ruck line's complete, and yeah, like I said, Darcy Cameron was there, always going to be that move to pick him up for 450k. And just, leave him there as the swingman for the season. And that's what I'm going with. So if you guys have any trade questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll get to them. This video will be posted, so you probably have about 2 hours before the bounce. But I'll make sure I even answer any questions you may have on a Saturday Arvo or anything like that. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Enjoy, and I'll catch you on the round review.